Fox 25's Britton Follett has this remarkable story of survival. She joins us live. Britton.
Well, the damage you see behind me here is very similar to what we found 4 miles away, where the tornado destroyed an entire street of homes belonging to one family.
It's blow out.
Grandpa's holding the little ones a little tighter now.
It's broken.
Yeah.
She's talking about her house that used to sit along Dobbs in Southeast 15th.
The frame you see right there was my trailer frame.
Letitia Riffle and her 2 little girls got out of their home moments before the tornado hit.
I've been saying thank God the whole time since it happened, because if I hadn't went down to my grandpa's house, we would not be here.
It happened so fast, I don't even know what happened.
Riffle's sister-in-law, Sarah Brody, made it from her front porch just down the road to her car.
I had enough time to run inside and grab my son and run back out to the car, and it was there.
Brody says she held on to her 8-month-old as the tornado passed, sending a piece of wood through the car window.
That was the most scariest experience of my life.
The tornado destroyed nearly every home on the block. Many of Brody and Riffle's relatives' homes, too.
Found one of her dolls that hadn't gotten opened yet from Christmas.
With bits and pieces of their lives spread across acres, it's hard to tell where to begin. But at least they have family nearby to help.
That's all I can say was God was on our side.
Everyone's alive, but things can be replaced. People can't.
The families are staying at the shelter in Hera for the time being. They say once the shelter closes, they're not sure where they will go next. Reporting live, Britton Follett, Fox 25 News.
All right. Thank you very much, Britton.
The cleanup can last for days, leaving many storm victims homeless.
Yeah, but instead of finding broken spirits among the damage, Fox 25's Lisa Monahan tells us several people are eager to rebuild.
It wasn't 15, 20 seconds after that, the house was gone, the tornado was passed.
The storm left a little of Brian Larison's home and a lot of work.
It'll probably be a couple weeks before I really let it settle in. You know, I'm just so busy trying to get stuff handled.
Larison makes plans to leave this memory behind.
Again, I don't think my wife wants to live here where this happened. I think what we're going to do is just find a house that we like, some property, and buy it.
Larison, along with his neighbors, began meeting with insurance agents, real estate agents, and cleanup crews.
Big mess out here. It's a job that we have to do.
But the storms that tore apart homes also bring people together.
Grab that thing of water.
I've never seen a community like Hera come together like this.
No, we're just trying to work as fast as we can to try to get the overwhelming debris out. There's so much debris.
Volunteers from Hera Church hope to clear the way.
As long as we can continue to work, we're going to continue to work.
So victims of the storm can make their next move.
You know, this is definitely set in now that this is reality.
With the rain moving in, people are doing what they can to keep Mother Nature out.
We got the roof tarped. That was job one. It's just trying to salvage what we can and clean up the mess.
Ready to forget the past and build a new future.
Maybe new and improved. We'll see if we get a little bonus out of this, maybe.
In Hera, Lisa Monahan, Fox 25 News. Plus, hundreds of volunteers show up to help Oklahomans in need. The Primetime News at 9 starts right now.
Hundreds of Oklahomans give back to the victims of this week's devastating tornadoes. Good evening, I'm Michael Henrik.
And I'm Lisa Monahan. Fox 25's Phil Cross went along with volunteers as they worked to clean up after the storms. Phil is live to show us how you can help. Phil.
Guys, nearly 1,000 people showed up here at the Oklahoma County District 2 building on Anderson Road, just south of I-240. Now, most of them were strangers with nothing more in common except a desire to help.
You can do nothing but laugh, because if you cry, you'll never stop. So we just got to laugh and go on.
For the past 40 years, tornadoes have left Cedar Street alone.
Piece there, a piece here, pieces out there.
On Monday, the storms made up for 4 decades of peace.
I thought, my gosh, what has happened?
Jackie Wanzer and her daughter were in a bedroom when they felt the wind lifting them.
We got to take our life and live it like we got to live it. And tell God we thank Him for it every day.
When it was all over, they were alive. Almost everything else was gone.
I knew what I had to do from that point on.
Within minutes, help started pouring in.
I am wrapping up all of her memories.
It started with friends like Peggy Garza, but soon
it's just what we do in Oklahoma. We help our neighbors out, and we're not looking for handouts. We act as a good neighbor, just like how God would want us to do.
The crews working today have never met Jackie.
This happened to us. Oklahomans would help me, so that's why I'm here.
You cannot explain how nice people are. You cannot explain how God lets people come and help you when you're in desperate need.
Volunteers are not just helping the victims, they're helping save taxpayers time and money as the county struggles to pay for the response to the storm.
One tree out here, if just left intact, would be one dump truck load by itself. But if chainsawed up into bits, we can actually make that dump go a lot further.
County workers can't legally go on private property, but volunteers can move debris to the roadside where the county is allowed. And what can't be salvaged or hauled off is burned, clearing the land for what Jackie hopes is another 40 tornado-free years.
I think we're just going to rebuild right here. Hopefully, it'll keep going around us again.
Up front at 9:30 tonight, women are breaking the law to fix infertility. Prescription pills pop up all over the internet.
It is illegal, but some women argue it's their last resort. Tonight, Fox 25's Lisa Monahan brings us a special report, Black Market Mothers. Lisa.
Well, imagine illegal drug deals with women doing the buying and selling. The prescription pills used to help get women pregnant are selling for pennies on the dollar. The doctors warn saving money could cost you.
We actually have quite a few customers that do come in that don't have kids yet.
When the small shoes make a big impression,
they just enjoy looking at all the fun stuff and dreaming for when that time does come around.
Women walk away with baby fever, but not everyone ends up at the doctor.
Go ahead, and if you will change, I'll be right with you.
Olivia Snow began the journey 7 years ago.
You just assume that when you want to get pregnant and have a family, it's just going to happen right away.
You'll feel some pressure.
But dozens of doctor visits, tests, and treatments did not bring a baby to Olivia's family.
It can be like an emotional roller coaster.
Desperate for a daughter, Olivia turns to a fertility clinic.
The doctors have the technology, to help you, but it's ultimately up to God, and I'm not going to force something.
With successful results for this new mom, fertility specialist Eli Reshef knows some women will still choose a different path than Olivia.
They say, if they can do it, why can't I? And that realization in our society that is accustomed to getting immediate rewards leads people to do desperate things.
Tapping into the black market to search websites, blogs, and forums designed to deliver fertility medications without a doctor recommendation.
When people take the medication on their own, they're unable to assess whether or not they're doing the right thing. While it's very tempting to use a medicine without paying the doctor to see them, actually that can be counterproductive.
If used incorrectly, Dr. Reshef says fertility medications can actually prevent pregnancy or cause multiple births, prematurity, and birth defects.
You may get a placebo, you may not have quality control, you may not get the medication you asked for. There is no way to test it.
But thousands of women are willing to take the risk. Logging on to several message boards gives us a look at the online world of fertility meds. We find hundreds of couples buying and selling the drugs to one another. The posts advertise $100 a box, a leftover syringe for $30, and expired meds are okay. While doctors say the deals are dangerous, some argue the intentions are noble. This woman writes,
I know it's a risk to my health, but I've been trying for so long since the miscarriage and feel desperate.
Olivia sympathizes with the desperation, but does not agree with selling medicines on the black market.
It's not worth putting yourself or the baby at risk for any amount of money you might save.
And the practice is illegal, and also the reason several women refused interviews with Fox 25. Instead, the women post,
we all know the risks, and we don't need people ramming it down our throats again and again.
I'm scared my husband and doctor will find out and get really mad at me.
Cindy Hamilton is the Chief Compliance Officer for the Oklahoma State Board of Pharmacy.
Please do not sell them, to other people, because you risk, harming someone else, if not getting in trouble with the law.
Hamilton says some women also import their fertility fix from online pharmacies.
That's absolutely illegal, and there are laws that says that you have to have a face-to-face visit and that pharmacies cannot fill prescriptions that are based on an internet questionnaire.
Hamilton says the online pharmacies are difficult to track. Only 4 inspectors in Oklahoma monitor thousands of pharmacies. They also keep tabs on out-of-state operations shipping into Oklahoma.
If we get word of an internet pharmacy, we can do a DON naming registration and see where they originate, and if they're in another state, we'll notify that board of pharmacy.
At the national level, Hamilton says the Federation of Medical Boards has only 1 full-time investigator to track pharmacies shipping meds from overseas.
You have a lot of safety issues. You don't know that you're getting a valid drug. It could be a counterfeit.
I'll wait for you right here. Instead of finding fake fertility, doctors help women like Olivia discover the real thing.
You got to pinch yourself to see that it's real.
Olivia promises investing in a doctor is worth it.
I think having her made me realize, how much of a gift it was to have my own child.
Well, if you find unused meds for sale online, the Oklahoma Board of Pharmacy suggests people report those complaints to the Food and Drug Administration. And while it is illegal to buy unused meds online, the FDA admits prosecution is rare and issued a buyer beware warning, reminding customers that they cannot be sure what drugs they're actually getting. Andrew.
All right, Lisa Monahan, thank you. Well, is texting too much hurting more than just your kids' fingers?
Coming up on the Primetime News at 9, conversations are being reduced to mere letters. We'll BRB.
A battle over language is pitting kids against their parents.
In a word of one-letter words and acronyms, are children losing their literacy? Fox 25's Liz DeWicki finds out this generation of texters may not be as dumb as you think.
We are no longer just a phone call away. Nowadays, we're linked through texting, anywhere, anytime.
I know in a month I text 15,000.
Probably over 1,000 texts a day. Somewhere between 32,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I text a lot. As the practice grows more popular, it's also creating a new language.
Texties tries to convey a message using the fewest amount of letters and characters while also eliminating punctuation. For example, the word you, Y-O-U, that just becomes the letter U. Or the word great, G-R-E-A-T, that becomes G-R and the number 8.
So with all the LOLs, BRBs, and JKs, are our kids losing the ability to read and write? Consensus is on the street, yes.
The English language has gone completely to pot since all of this has come along. I think that kids don't know how to spell.
I definitely think it does. I will not let my daughter do that.
I'll bet you it does affect some younger kids that would rather be doing that. You can see them putting it on a test, LOL. LOL or, K.
But not everyone agrees.
When you do a study of texters versus non-texters and you look at spelling of standard English, there's no significant difference.
In fact, education expert Elizabeth Wilmer says those using textees are no dummies.
In order to figure out what is the crux of a word, that you can get somebody else to understand what this word is in the fewest characters possible, that's really sophisticated language use.
Well, you have to know how to use words to know how to abbreviate them in a way that makes sense, it would seem to me. Now, I don't understand what they all mean.
Communication expert Kenna Griffin agrees. Griffin and Wilmer say since parents don't understand or don't text, they think it's wrong or harmful.
If you're my age, you are looking at it as a deficit model. I can't do this. My thumbs don't text, very well, and my brain doesn't do that very well. I don't transfer.
Wilmer says texting and social media use is not only not harmful, it can actually be helpful because practice makes perfect in language, no matter the form.
We get better at reading by reading. We get better at writing by writing. So our students who are using language all of the time in all of these different social media, including texting, seems that they would be improving in literacy skills.
But there are still skeptics.
She's going to forget how to spell things. So there's no reason for it. We're not that busy. I think that it's a matter of quality over quantity, though. Like, if you're texting all day long, but if you're if you're using such horrible practices in it, really, is it actually helping anything? And I don't think so.
Experts warn skeptics today's textees could become tomorrow's proper English.
Our language is alive. It doesn't stay the same. Bootylicious was added to one of the dictionaries a few years ago. Well, that certainly wouldn't have been there 50 or 100 years ago.
Liz DeWicki, Fox 25 News.
Experts say there is always a time and place for the code. They tell parents to teach children to match their language with the recipient of the message. Makes sense.
Yeah, not only that, we got to say bootylicious.
On TV.
Made the whole story worth it.
Good day.